Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. It's Rob and Sandra from My Wife the Dietitian, and this is Nutrition Nuggets.
Rob, we have a question.
Oh, a question. Love those.
Yeah, there was a question from a listener who was just wondering about cooking in oil or cooking in broth, because we've said two different things in two different episodes.
We like to confuse people sometimes.
Not on purpose.
No, exactly.
We're just going to clarify it, though. But this is the actual question. She says, I have a question. I do a whole food plant-based diet, and I don't incorporate any oils, but I'm starting to wonder whether or not having any oil in the diet is a smart thing. I'm 56 years old. I'm not sure how much a day and what type of oil. I'm thinking of a good olive oil. I'm just curious. I watched one of your videos and you said it was okay to cook with extra virgin olive oil, but in the video you're saying you should just cook with broth or water, then add a good olive oil afterwards. I don't use any oil in my food or my cooking, so I'm just wondering if I should. And I think she's referencing episode 23. We did fats, grease, and oil. Mm-hmm. Quality over quantity, lubricate the body and skin from within. Nutrition Nuggets 81 was how to use olive oil. And then a recent one, Nutrition Nuggets 133, is olive oil better than butter or coconut oil? And there's another one, episode 172, do fats affect inflammation?
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit. And I got to tell you, I'm a little confused too with when it comes to oil, like which ones are good for you, which ones you shouldn't cook with. Like even after all the stuff we've discussed, it's definitely confusing. So valid question for sure.
Yeah, and I think we pointed out in, I think it was episode 23, fats, grease, and oil. We mentioned how the traditional way was cooking in water, draining the water, and then adding oil before eating.
Right. And I think partly because it retains the flavor of the oil more. Like
and the polyphenols.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. So you don't lose that through the cooking process. But It doesn't mean you can't cook with olive oil.
No. Okay. So is it important or critical to cook your food in oil? So this is what we're going to talk about. It is not necessary, but it depends on what you're cooking, what your nutritional goals are, how much flavor you want, and how much texture you want. So let's talk about what oil, if cooking in oil, what it might add to your dish and how would it help your food?
Well, it's going to lubricate, I guess is a word to use.
Yeah, the texture.
It makes things crispier.
Yeah.
Some things, but it also adds like if you added olive oil to say your pasta, it's going to just kind of make it more wet, lubricated, slippery, like adds texture. Sure. I guess that's the right word.
Okay. Yeah. And flavor.
Well, yeah. And flavor.
And aroma.
That too.
It actually helps, like the oil helps to release and carry the flavors, like the garlic and the spices. It gives it a richer taste when you're sauteing and frying. And then the texture. So it does help with, like you said, crispiness and browning and searing. Like if you're searing meat, then
right.
That helps too. And it's also less likely to stick to the pan if you have something.
Years ago, that's what I thought the purpose of oil was.
Yeah.
To prevent things from sticking to the pan.
Well, that makes sense.
I thought that was like the only purpose though.
I think I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I realize there's a lot more benefits to using oil, not just the stickiness. I mean, like everything we just said, you're adding flavor, you're changing the texture sometimes. It's not just about preventing your pan from getting sticky.
Right. Yes. Okay. So we're talking about the flavor, the aroma, the texture. But one of the most important things is the nutritional aspect. And do you remember in the 90s, people were on like very low fat diets? Like the trend was like almost no fat diets. And then what happened?
They needed to sell something else, so they changed their mind. So no, fat's good. We're going to like say you can't eat carbs now. That's how it goes, right? It just bounces the other direction.
Well, that's
the same with jeans, funny. You know, skinny jeans are all the rage. Now bell bottoms are all the rage and skinny jeans are out. The food is the same.
That's about it.
Right?
We've seen a lot of trends over the last
vegetables
30 years.
are good for you. No, they're not good for you anymore. We're gonna make something else good for you now.
Okay. So you know what happened in the 90s? A lot of people actually got fatty acid vitamin deficiencies.
Oh, really? Because they weren't getting enough fat.
Yeah.
The healthy fat. Did we know about healthy fat back then? Because that seems like a new thing.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So do you remember the vitamins, the fat soluble vitamins?
A, D, E, and K.
Wow. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is what happened is people actually started having symptoms of fatty acid deficiency. They weren't getting those different vitamins. They're not getting the absorption because oil and fats in the food help your body absorb these fat soluble vitamins.
Right, I see.
And some antioxidants are fat soluble. Lycopene and the carotenoids, so beta carotene.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what are some of the fatty acid deficiencies that what would happen if you don't have enough lubrication and oil?
Your skin gets dried out. Like everything to do with lubricating your body.
Yeah.
I would think it's like your joints, your brain, your all the things that what did I say? Your skin? What else?
Hair loss.
Oh yeah, hair loss?
Yes.
Because it's just related to those vitamins.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Poor wound healing. So if you have a cut or a wound,
oh wow,
it has a harder time to heal. You have a weakened immune system without those essential fatty acids. And with the vitamin A, D, E, and K, if we're not getting those, and vision problems, so night blindness.
Wow.
Yeah. And brain, because
I was going to say it was brain health.
cognition problems. So poor memory, mood disturbances like depression, difficulty concentrating. So all of these issues happened when people were following a very low fat diet.
Wow. So
it is important to have some fats in your meals and snacks over the day. And if you want to cook with oil, it gives it flavor, aroma, texture, and it helps to avoid burning, in the pan. But
are we talking olive oil here?
Yeah. So
primarily? Okay.
It does add extra calories, right?
Of course.
So if you're trying to watch what you're eating and you're wanting to get less calories, you probably want to watch how much oil and fats you're using.
Right. Okay.
So I often say to people 6 teaspoons of added fat over the day.
Right.
So 2 teaspoons per meal is kind of a good rule of thumb, especially if...
Teaspoons or tablespoons?
Teaspoons.
Teaspoons. Okay. Yeah, there's smaller ones.
So, a pat of butter, like if you went to a restaurant, that's a teaspoon of butter.
Okay.
So if you're going to use oil, you could, use one of those spritzers. You could drizzle it. Just, try to use it more sparingly than like soaking your salad and,
I know. I was going to say some people use 6 teaspoons just on their salad at lunch.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the problem. Like, so there's this scale, right? It's not like black and white. It's not like no oil, no fats, or tons. You know what I mean? It's like in the middle somewhere. So yeah, 2 teaspoons per meal is a good amount.
Okay.
When we talked about fats, grease and oil. I think that was the one we talked about using, salsa to cook our eggs in.
Yeah, there's alternatives. I mean, it doesn't have to be oil.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about broth. These are things if you're trying to
reduce your oil.
Yeah, reduce your oil. There are other ways to cook your food.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, in a wet, like in a broth or
some foods, not all foods will work with that, but some foods will.
Yeah.
And yes, salsa is amazing for eggs.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
If you like salsa.
Mm-hmm. And just other cooking methods like baking, roasting, grilling, and then you can add the oil after.
Oh, I see. That don't require like a pan full of oil.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like we were going to have burgers tonight and do it on the barbecue because it was such a beautiful afternoon on an October day.
It felt like a barbecue night, but unfortunately there was no propane.
That's right.
So I didn't want to do them in a frying pan because that's just not the same.
It gets a bit oily.
Yeah, it's just not.
But that's exactly the issue we were having.
True, right?
Do we want to really cook the burgers in oil on the stove? Because they're already they're not exactly lean burgers, but anyways.
Yeah, no, that's exactly a good example for sure.
Yeah. So one last thing. So if you're baking, you can replace the oil in baking also, like by using applesauce or pear sauce that you make. It's so good. Or yogurt or cottage cheese. I just made bread and put cottage cheese. The recipe called for cottage cheese as part of the instead of the butter or oil. Right. So yeah, there's just different ways to cook and bake where you don't have to use a ton of oil or a ton of butter or other added fats.
Right.
But I think it's good to think about using about 6 teaspoons of added fat over the day. If you're someone who doesn't use any, I think it's a good idea to start to add a little bit in there.
And what's the best way to do that for our listener here who's that's her. She hasn't been having any fat. She wants to start bringing some into her diet. What do you recommend? Just like throwing some on a salad, or like we really like doing the sourdough dipped in olive oil and balsamic vinegar.
Oh yeah,
that's unreal. If you haven't tried that,
so good.
It's a great snack. You just throw some on a plate and you dip your bread into it, and it's fresh. It's not cooked. It's easy, and it's instead of like putting butter on your bread, it's olive oil, which is probably the traditional way to eat bread in Mediterranean countries, I'm guessing.
So delicious. Yeah. And there's a mouthfeel I forgot to mention for like to add, if you have a little bit of oil or fat in the meal, it gives it mouthfeel. So I think balance is key. So you could use a little bit of oil where it would benefit the flavor and the meal and the cooking, but you don't have to use it all the time. You can just use a small amount. Olive oil is good, like extra virgin olive oil. Maybe avocado oil. It's a bit more expensive. It's got a higher smoke point. And I think that's the biggest thing is just don't cook your oil or let it burn in the pan past its smoke point, because then it's not good for you at all.
Yeah, that's one thing to watch out for. If you're a responsible cook and you're staying with your food and not like turning on your pan and walking away for 10 minutes, then you should be fine.
We all do that. I did. Yeah. I just did that the other day. I had to dump it, start over again, clean the pan out.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like, just like made my meal not very healthy.
True. But yeah.
Anyways, I hope that answers the question. Thanks so much for emailing us. And I'm glad you asked us about that, because I remember when we were saying in that episode 23 about cooking your food in broth and water instead of oil. And then we were talking about olive oil in Nutrition Nuggets 81. And we talked about using olive oil to cook. So I think I'm glad you're listening. Thank you.
Yeah. Keeping us on our toes here.
And we do both. Like we definitely use both techniques.
Yep. So it's good to have a bit of oil in your diet. And
if you're in a rut with your cooking methods or with what you're eating in the week, change it up. It's always good to have variety and change things up. It might kickstart your health journey.
There you go. There's your nutrition nugget for the week. If you want more great tips, check out our website. We've got a great blog there. We have a freebies page on our website too with some great recipes. And we also have a free newsletter you can join through the website. It's mywifethedietitian.com. If you have questions like our listener did today, feel free to shoot us an email. It's mywifetherd@gmail.com. Love answering listener questions. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You're welcome to reach out to us there as well. Any feedback we get is super helpful. Like I said, we love answering your questions, and we love hearing your feedback too. Another great way to give us feedback is through rating and reviewing. If you like the show, let us know. And if you like the show, I bet your friends would love it, right? Let them know about it. Share with a couple of friends. You guys can all sit around and listen together. That is it for today. Thanks again for joining us. We will be back on Monday with a full episode. So until then, have a fantastic week. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.